Okay, we can begin. Because Sarva Prabhu, senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, staying in Mayapur Dham, widely preaching the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Prabhupada's message. We are very fortunate to hear from him today. So, thank you, Prabhu. We can start.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarani He Guru Gyanadadina Bandhu Sanandadata Gurunaika Sindhu Vrindavana Sini Hitavatara Prasida Radha Panaya Pracharan Nama Shrishtam Manumapi Sachiputramatra Sarupam Rupam Tasyagajamurapurim Bhatarim Bhokshavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasam Praptuyasya Patita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Gatosmi Tvam Gopika Vrisharavishtanayantake Se Sevadhikarini Guru Nijapada Padme Dasyam Pradaya Kurumam Pajakanane Shri Radhan Krishevanarase Sukhinim Sukham Radha Sammukha Sangsakting Saki Sangani Vasanim Tamaham Satatam Bande Madhavashraya Vigraham Bande Rupa Sanatano Raghujagoshi Jiva Gopalako Bande Nantadvatashayam Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Nichopi Yat Prasadat Sad Bhakti Shastra Pavartaka Nityananda Maham Nomi Sarvananda Karam Param Harinama Padam Devam Avaduta Shiromani Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindaye Tulsi Devaya Priya Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavachai Namo Namah Pancha Kopatu Vishta Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. So I was requested to speak today about Gopashtami. To really appreciate Gopashtami and Krishna Lila, we should first examine Tattva. Tattva means Siddhanta. Who is Krishna? And understand his Lila from the perspective of Siddhanta. So for that, we always look to Bhagavad Gita. There it says, Aham sarvasya prabhu mata sarvam pravartiti iti matva bhajanti mam buddha bhava samandita. He's saying, he told Arjuna, I am the source of all creation. Everything emanates from me. Earth, fire, water, air, ether, mind, intellect, ego, the whole creation is coming from Krishna. Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the origin of everything, yet he has no origin. This is the root definition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma Samhita also says, Yakarana Navajale Bhajati Sma Yoga. Nidramananta Jagananda Saroma Kupa Adhara Shakti Mavalamya Param Samurtim Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The Govinda, Krishna, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's abundant information. Bhagavad Gita, Matapparataram Nanyat Kinchedasti Dhananjaya Mahi Sarvamidam Protam Sutram Manigana Eva. Everything, there's no truth higher than me. Whole creation rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sachacharam. Hetananena Kunteya Jagadvi Parivartate. Universes are created and annihilated by him. Whole Prakriti works under his direction. He's God. Over and over again, we find this information in Shastra. But what is God doing? Is he just a nothing, a void, a zero, an energy, a light? Well, he's a person and he has personal activities. So when we compare our Lord's identity in Tattva Vichar, considering him from the perspective of Tattva, compared to his Leela, it becomes so tasteful, so wonderful if we compare these two things side by side. So what is God doing? Is he sitting on a throne somewhere and his only business is to keep track of our pap and punya? That, oh, I saw you do that and now you have to go to hell for eternity. Or, okay, I saw you do a good thing, and now you can go to heaven. Is he like a universal scorekeeper of our activities? He is that, but how much more? He has personal, loving relationships with all his devotees. And he's engaged in those relationships in his own kingdom, Goloka Vrindavan. Goloka means the planet of the cows. Krishna loves the cows. This is what God is doing. It's one of the things he's doing. We understand him in 5 different rasas: Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras, Shringaras. So he's engaged in activities in 5 different rasas, or 5 different relationships. So in Sakyaras, what is he doing? He's with his friends, thousands, lakhs and crores of friends, and lakhs and crores of cows. He has Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Godhana Rakhoala. Krishna is taking care of Nanda Maharaj's cows, 9 lakhs of cows. And someone may think, how is that possible? See, scientifically, a person of scientific mindset may analyze. Let's say one cow occupies so many square meters, and there's only so many square meters in Vrindavan. How do you fit 900,000 cows in Vrindavan? This is impossible. No, from the spiritual perspective, you can put 9 lakhs of cows on the head of a pin. This is Krishna's inconceivable Leela. We want to understand Leela by forcing it into our conception of reality. Srila Prabhupada called this frog in the well mentality. Frog in the well is sitting in the bottom of his well, and his brother frog comes to him and says, I have seen the Atlantic Ocean. And the frog in the well says, well, how big is it? Oh, it's very big. Is it twice as big as my well? No, 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 much bigger than that. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times. He's trying to grasp the conception of what is the vast quantity of water contained in the Atlantic Ocean compared to his little well. So in the same way, we try and force spiritual reality into our conception. And what can we understand? What is it possible to grasp? What is the length and breadth of Goloka? What is life in Goloka like? This is a very difficult thing. We know something. Chintamani prakara satmasu kalpa vriksha lakshabriteshu surabir abhirpalayantam Lakshmi sahasra satasam brahmasebhyamanam govindamadi purisham tamaham bhajam. That Goloka is Chintamani Dham. The whole dimension, the whole construction of Goloka is Chintamani. Wish-fulfilling gemstones, wish-fulfilling trees, Surabhi cows, Goloka Vrindavan, eternal life, eternal present, no past, present, and future. Every word is a song, every step is a dance, and everyone's completely enamored, in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. This is Goloka. Krishna is there with his beloved cows. He could have any kind of life. He can be sitting in a huge palace like Dwarka Leela, in a palace with his army, with his 16,108 queens, and his treasury, and his palaces, and family, the Yadava dynasty. But this isn't Krishna's preferred Leela. His preferred Leela, his Goloka Leela, is with cows and cowherd boys, and his mother and father, and gopis and gopas, and friends and relationships, and Krishna is the center. These beautiful bhajans sung by our acharyas, in particular Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, describe Krishna Nanda Godhana Rakhuvala, that Nanda Maharaj has given Krishna charge of the cows. And this is Gopashtami. And when Krishna before he enters his Poganda, Leela, he is taking care of the baby cows, the calves. So now he's a big boy. Now he's a big boy. And he's going to take charge of the cows. And on this festival, They bathe the cows and scrub the cows. They bathe them and scrub them and decorate them. They paint the cows' horns and their hooves. Sometimes they gild them with gold leaf and decorate them with jewelry and garlands and feed them special food and just dote on the cows. Can I post a picture?
Oh, please do so.
Okay. Okay, let me see if I can manage this.
Should be able to share also. Yeah.
Let's see here. Share screen. Okay, can you see?
Yes, wonderful. Yeah.
This is Gopashtami last year in Mayapur. And there was a whole herd of cows like this. All the devotees came, and you could give a donation for the cows, and they'd give you a big bunch of a special type of grass the cows love to eat. And here someone's feeding them cucumbers or bananas, something like that. So everybody's feeding, the cows are in ecstasy. They're eating bananas and cucumbers and delicious sweet grass, and they've been decorated like this. This is Gopashtami, to celebrate Krishna's relationship with the cows. So this is a very special day that we observe and take note of how much loving relationship Krishna has with all the devotees, even the cows. Of course, we read in Bhagavad Gita, Samaham sarvabhutishu name dveshosti na priya. Krishna is equal to everyone. Srila Prabhupada said one time that Krishna loves the calf as much as he loves Srimati Radharani. He's completely enamored. There's such a loving reciprocal relationship even with the cows. Krishna, there's 900,000 cows of Nanda Maharaj, and Krishna knows every one of them by name and calls them. And they're all waiting for him. After Mother Yashoda dresses him and feeds him and bathes him and fusses over him and holds him and embraces him, the cowherd boys are waiting outside the door. Come on, Krishna, come on. The cows are waiting. Let's go, let's go. And Krishna leaves the house of Mother Yashoda, and all the of her associates become sad. All the gopis become sad, but all the gopas become joyful, and they run off to the forest for cow herding pastimes. All day long, they're playing, herding the cows, enjoying amazing pastimes, eating, dancing, playing, wrestling, playing ball, jumping, laughing, eating delicious forest fruits, killing demons. There's inconceivable joy in Goloka in relationship with devotees. People don't understand this. They think God's sitting on a throne somewhere, or that he's a light, he's a void, a zero, a nothing. He's a person, and these are the personal activities of Krishna. His beloved life with the cows, forests, agriculture, gopas, gopis, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya. And he is known by all these different names. Vipina Purandara, Vrindavana Vipina Purandara. And he's the boss of Vrindavan, the center of everyone's attention. Sundarananda Gopala, the beautiful cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj. Gopa Vrindapal. He's protecting the cows and the cowherd boys. And when there's a problem, everyone just calls Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. When there's a forest fire, the devotees, they didn't run for the fire department. They just called Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And Krishna just inhaled the whole forest fire, done. He's always protecting the cowherd boys, always protecting the cows, because he loves them. And they are eternally cowherd boys and eternally cows. And they're completely happy in that mood. So this is Krishna's mood, Go Raksha. As we hope to protect cows here on this planet, on this level of reality, Krishna is always protecting cows in Goloka. It's his business. That's what he's doing. How he spends his time in Sakhya Ras, in his loving relationship with the cows and the cowherd boys. So we prayed to him, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagadhitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namah. He's famous as Govinda, as Gopal, Gopala. He's protecting, he's nurturing, he's maintaining the cows. Govinda. That he's giving pleasure to the cows, to the senses, to the land. He's overflowing with loving feeling for cows and devotees. And this is Goloka. This is our objective in life, our prayojana. What do we practice sadhana for? To enter that world, to enter loving relationship with Krishna, to go out and herd cows with Krishna, to become part of Mother Yashoda's entourage, to bathe Krishna and arrange for Krishna's eating and his sleeping and his comfort in the home of Nanda Maharaj, or to be one of gopis overwhelmed in emotional outpouring love for Krishna. So Krishna loves the cows like anything, all the devotees. One time, Mother Yashoda said to Krishna, Krishna, you need new shoes. Let us get you new shoes. Krishna said, okay, but if you get new shoes for me, you have to get new shoes for all of my cows also. Because this is Krishna's mood. That whatever I get, let me take care of the cows, go Raksha. So this is this wonderful Gopashtami festival, where we remember these things, where we meditate on these things, and count our good fortune of having access to this knowledge about the personality of Godhead, because the whole world is devoid of this understanding. They just think God is my order supplier. They go to the mandir, the church, the masjid, the synagogue, the gurudwara, and they ring the bell, and they do namaz, or they sing some hymn, and now God give me things. They think God is our order supplier. He is our order supplier, but he's so much more than that. And if someone limits their relationship with God, with Krishna, as just an order supplier, they give me, there's no bhakti, and there's no liberation without bhakti. It's considered pious. Bhagavad Gita says, Chaturvidha bhajante mam, jana sukritir orjana. Different types of pious people relate to God in different ways. They want to know him, they want something from him, they want knowledge, they want money or food, and because they're poverty stricken. People want different things from God, but what does a devotee want? Devotee wants Krishna. Now what Krishna can give us, we want Krishna. This is Duryodhana's mentality. Duryodhana asked Krishna, give me your army. And what did Arjuna ask? Arjuna said, I just want you. And we should take note, who was victorious? Arjuna was victorious because he only wanted Krishna. And Duryodhana, even though he had Krishna's army, he had the material opulence of Krishna, Krishna's prakriti. He didn't have Krishna. Therefore, he was defeated. So we should take note of this principle that what do we want from God? We want God. We don't want his opulence. We don't want his so-called blessing. People think, what is the blessing of God? And they think, Dhanam Janam Sundarim. I've got money. I've got position in society. I've got respect, education, good birth. Kunti Maharani says these things are simply intoxication. Janma Swarja Shutashiber Edamana Madapuman. Nevarhatyapidatum Vaitvam Akinchana Gocharam. Krishna is the property of those persons who are Kinchana Gochara, who have no other asset but Krishna. That doesn't mean poverty stricken. It means even if you're a wealthy person, you understand what is that wealth, that there is no shelter in money. There's no shelter in position or education. Our only shelter is Krishna. And they may be very opulent in this world, but their heart is always with Krishna, not with their bank account, not with their prestige, their position in society. Otherwise, Kunti Maharani is saying Janma, birth, Aiswarja, material opulence, Shuta, learning, Shribi, bodily beauty. All these things are mada, they're intoxicating, and it makes a person think, Material world is very nice. Nice place. Let me stay here and enjoy. This is illusion. We can't stay here in this world. So our real wealth is with Krishna. So what do we want from Krishna? We want Krishna. We should always remember that in our progress in bhakti, that material opulence may come and material opulence may go. This is the nature of the world. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sang. Sometimes we're riding the crest of material happiness. Sometimes we're in the trough of loss and depression and unhappiness. This is the nature. Dvandva mohena bharata. It's the nature of this material world. Duality is there. But our real asset is not in the dualities of this material world. Having things and losing things, gaining them again, losing again, happiness and distress, pride and infamy, sickness and health, loss and gain. These are the dualities of the material world. The devotee should be detached from, because they're simply intoxicating and make us separate us from the real objective of life, which is to enter this world of Krishna, playing with cows, playing with the gopas, playing with gopis, the darling Jashoda Dulal, the darling of Mother Yashoda. So we should learn these bhajans that describe Yashomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Paranandana Madana Manohara Kaliya Dhamana Bidan. All beautiful names, just one name after another, beautifully strung together by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This song, Yashomati Nandan, Srila Prabhupada describes favorite song of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And it contains a wealth of rasa, a wealth of lila, a wealth of spiritual happiness. If we bring our mind to the meaning of the words and bring our mind to Krishna Lila. So same thing on observance of beautiful festivals like Gopashtami, that bring our mind to Krishna Lila. What is God doing? It's not just a universal scorekeeper. He wants relationship with us. And in fact, he's waiting for us. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur composed this song, Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole, Kota Nida Jao Maya Pisha Chira Kole. That how long you keep your head on the lap of the witch called Maya. Witch called Maya. This is our illusion. We think material world is nice. I can stay here forever. But she's an unforgiving witch. She takes everything away from us. Kalusmi Bharatashava. Krishna says, I'm time and I'm devouring, I'm taking everything from you. This is the nature of material world. We can't stay here. We can't be happy, but we are asleep in the lap of the witch called Maya. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Lord Chaitanya is saying, Jeev Jago, wake up, wake up. When will you give up this attachment to the material world and awaken to the reality of what is available by this process of Krishna Bhakti? Which means bringing our mind to Krishna Lila in the context of Tattva Vichar. That what is God doing? He's having wonderful pastimes with his devotees. He's growing up and he's taking charge of the cows, and all his cowherd boyfriends have also grown up, and they're going off to the forest for cow herding, having wonderful Leela in the forest of Braj, eternal Leela. And this is available to us. This is the real gift of life. This is the inconceivable, invaluable gift that's coming to each of us through Guru Parampara. We simply have to grasp it. And the process of holding on to that, of qualifying for it, is our sadhana. It's a gift, but we have to qualify ourselves for the gift. We have to wait for it. One example was given by my esteemed godbrother, Jananivas Prabhuji. He was giving class one time, and he described in this way. He used this example. He said, it's your birthday, and there's a knock on the door. You open the door, and it's your best friend. He's standing at your door, and he's holding something behind his back. And you know it's a present. He's your best friend. He's brought you a birthday gift. You can't say, give it to me. You have to wait for him to offer it to you. So bhakti is something like that. We're engaged in sadhana, but we have to wait for the mercy. We have to qualify ourselves, beg mercy, and hope that in some lifetime, some day or other, some blessed day, we can enter into pure devotional service. This is bhakti. But to qualify ourselves, we should understand, what is it we want? What is it we expect? What is it we hope to achieve? And therefore, the importance of always hearing Krishna Lila, especially Krishna book, Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, Krishna book is Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada's amazing exposition where he weaves beautiful Lila with Tattva side by side so that no one can misunderstand Krishna Lila. So if we're hearing these things, then we have some enthusiasm to go there. One devotee gave an example. He said, just like in New York City, you're on that side of the country, you go to downtown New York City, Fifth Avenue, and everything's dark and people wear black and big concrete, hardly no grass, hardly any trees. People are very busy in their life, running here and there, and the pollution and the fur. That you come past, you walk past travel agency. What is it? In the window, a big picture of palm trees, coconuts, hula girls, white sand, blue water, fruit juice, lying in the sun, relaxing. They're making a proposition. Come enjoy this. Why live like this in the rat race of New York City? Come enjoy Hawaii. Come enjoy the South Pacific. Come enjoy this beautiful tropical paradise. They're making propaganda. So Krishna is also making propaganda. He's saying, come to me. He comes to this world to attract us to him. Come to me. Come enjoy this Leela with me. Sing and dance and eat and play and enjoy life eternally in my world. He's making proposition. He comes here. Paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya chadushkatam. Paritranaya sadhanam means he's coming to show his Leela, to attract us, that we can go there. We can enter the kingdom of God. Yad gatvani nivartante tadama paramamama. Krishna says, Natan bhasyate suryo, na shanko napavaka. Yad gatvani nivartante tadama paramamama. That my abode is not illumined by sun, moon, or electricity. And if you go there, you never again come back to this world of janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, birth, death, old age, and disease. So we get this enthusiasm for bhakti by hearing. If we don't hear, then how will we make progress? Hearing is the whole key. It's the foundation of our progress in spiritual life. Hearing, what is Krishna doing? What is God doing in the kingdom of God? Bhagavatam says, Shusho Sho Shodananasya. No. Vasudeva Katam, Sanmahat Seva. No, this other verse. Anyway, Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsa Shoka Moka Moha Bhayapaha. What is the first line? No, not that verse. The second line is Bhaktir Upadyate Pumsa Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. I'm forgetting the first line of the shloka though. Not Shushu. Anyway, he's saying that by hearing about me, what is the result? Bhaktir Upadyate Pumsam, that bhakti wells up in our heart. Bhakti becomes manifest in our heart. And shoka, moha, bhayapaha. And lamentation, fear, and illusion, apaha. They're all finished off. So hearing many verses, this is also Shushusho Shodadanas Vasudeva Kataruchi Syanmahab Sevaya Punya Tirtha Nishev. This is in itself punya. Shanvatam Swakata Krishna. Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridyantastav. So many verses all emphasize this principle of hearing. Pravistakana Randrena Swanam Bhava Sororuham Dunoti Shamalam Krishna Salilatsa Yata Sharad. That by hearing Karna Randrena, that sound vibration of Bhagavatam enters our ear and comes to our heart and sits on the lotus flower of our loving relationship with the Lord and one of five rasas. And when that happens, all the inauspicious things that exist in our heart are finished. Just as autumnal rains cleanse all pools of muddy water. So many shlokas are there describing the importance of hearing about Krishna. Because when we hear, three things happen. First thing is we become knowledgeable. If I ask any one of you, please give me a 5-minute description of my brother. Is it possible? What can you say? Well, he's a guy. But can you say more than that? Because you've not heard. So if we don't hear about Krishna, what can we say about Krishna? What can we, he says, Manmanam bhavamad bhakto, think of me, become my devotee. How can we think of someone we've never heard about? We have to hear about Krishna. So the first installment of mercy by hearing is that we become knowledgeable. What is Krishna doing? Who is Krishna? What is he doing? Who are his friends? Where does he live? What does he wear? What does he eat? What does he do? We become knowledgeable. The second installment is that by hearing, Bhakti utpadyate pumsam, bhakti arises in our heart. Shrantatam swakata Krishna, punya hridyantasto abhadrani. All the inauspicious things in our heart, abhadrani, lust, anger, greed, fear, envy, all the inauspicious things in our heart, the dirt in our heart is removed by hearing. Second installment of mercy. Third and most important thing is that by hearing, we attract the mercy of Krishna. That he helps us. He pulls us back to him when he sees we're interested to know him. That, oh, this devotee wants to know me. He wants to be my devotee. He wants to give up attachment to this material world. Let me reach out to him. Let me pull him towards me. It's said that for every step we take towards the Lord, he's taking 10 steps towards us. This is the third and most important aspect of hearing, that we qualify ourselves. We attract the Lord's mercy by hearing. Like, this is Dharmas. Just by singing this song, such a beautiful song. This song attracts Krishna's attention. It attracts Krishna. And this is what can attract Krishna? The source of everything, the supreme controller, the all opulent, powerful Lord. What can attract him? Bhakti. Only bhakti. So just by singing this song, and for the price of a little piece of cotton and a few drops of ghee, we can please the Lord. Such an amazing thing. And this is how Krishna's mother got this name, Yashoda. Yashoda means that person who gives fame. She's giving yash. She's giving fame to Krishna. How? Because she's showing to the world that Krishna is controlled by bhakti. I tied him up. How? Bhakti badham, by bhakti. Krishna is controlled by bhakti. And Yashoda showed this to the world, that who can tie up Krishna? Only the devotee with bhakti. So this is our principle, to hear. How do we get that bhakti? How do we touch bhakti? By hearing. Such an important thing. And by hearing, we understand what we're to do in this world, how to live in this world. Because this whole principle of cow protection, Go Raksha, is a challenge to a materialistic society. And Go Raksha doesn't, we shouldn't misunderstand this. Go Raksha doesn't mean you get some cows and you start milking them and you sell the milk. That's not Go Raksha. Go Raksha is holistic understanding of cow protection. It means you milk the cows, but they only give milk when they're pregnant. They're a mammal. The cow will only give milk for so long until it becomes pregnant again and delivers another baby. Then it will give milk again. So the herd will increase. Where will you keep them? You have to keep them on land. And land means it has to be cultivated. Although Prabhupada said, even the land is not cultivated, just the cows being on the land, passing urine and dung, sanctifies the whole land. The deities bathe with panchagavya, with cow dung, cow urine. This is when we install the deity, these items are essential for deity installation. So it's such sanctified thing. Cow is such sanctified animal. So Go Raksha actually means how to take care of mother cow and how to take care of father bull, not just milking cows. That the bull should be used to till the land and create agriculture, verdant agricultural produce, that food grains. Prabhupada describes this as a solution to the economic problem in human society, how to eat. The cows, the bulls till the land and produce food grains. The cows give milk. And what is milk? Milk means the necessary fat required in human diet, necessary protein required in human diet. Actually, I found some quote I wanted to read to you. Because there's a silly people, these vegan type people, who won't even take honey because they say, oh, it's exploiting the bees. They won't even take honey. And they say, no, we don't take milk because it's exploiting the cows. Certainly the cows are a horrific situation for cows in this, all over the world, not just America, all over the world, even India. India is the largest, or it's become second largest now, second largest exporter of beef and leather in the world. Where we talk about Go Raksha, but what is going on? Huge slaughterhouses where cows and buffaloes are brutally slaughtered. Anyway, Prabhupada said about vegans, quote, we are advocating cow protection and encouraging people to drink more milk and eat palatable preparations made of milk. But the demons, just to protest such proposals, are claiming that they are advanced in scientific knowledge, as described here. By their words, Svajaya Shuta Sampannaha. They say that according to their scientific way, they have discovered that milk is dangerous and that the beef obtained by killing cows is very nutritious. This difference of opinion will always continue. There's even a place where Prabhupada writes that drinking milk promotes our progress in spiritual life. Cow's milk produces fine tissues in the brain to understand spiritual conceptions. Because, frankly, most people have no intellectual access to understand the principles of spiritual life. They're like dull animals. They're like, they become like cows themselves because they eat dead cows. They become, their brains have become like cows also. They're not able to understand the principle of what is the importance of human form of life. What is the potential of the human form of life? What is God? What is his nature? Who am I? What is this world? What is Prakriti? What is Pradhan? What is Karma? What is Yoga? What is Atma? These principles are beyond their capacity to understand because their brains have become dull as stone. And one of the main reasons is because of the food they eat and the food they don't eat. You know, they can drink liquor and they can eat meat and all untouchable foods. They say, oh, milk, this is very bad thing. No, this is not good for your health. Let us eat hamburger. This is the degraded situation of Kali Yuga. So Go Raksha, cow protection, and simple living and high thinking, a sustainable lifestyle based on land. Bhagavatam says, Sarva Kama Dugamahi, that all man's necessities of life are produced from the land. I'm wearing, of course, this is a plastic. It's even also coming from the land. Petroleum products from which we derive synthetic fibers are also coming from the land. Cotton is coming from the land. Food is coming from the land. Water is coming from the land. Oxygen ultimately comes from the land. The trees are inhaling carbon dioxide. They're exhaling oxygen. They're dependent on the land. Our whole existence is based on the land. But people put faith in factories. But Prabhupada would say, you cannot eat nuts and bolts. Or he made, I found one nice quote, and it's very, very nice. He's challenging materialistic culture because this whole principle of Go Raksha is a challenge to materialistic culture. Srila Prabhupada wrote, can tools and machines supply vigor and vitality to men and animals? Can machinery produce grain, fruit, and milk, or jewels and silk? Are jewels and silk, along with varieties of foodstuffs prepared with ghee, grain, milk, and fruits, not sufficient for a man's pure, luxurious, and healthy life, then what is the need of an artificial, luxurious life of cinemas, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels? Has this civilization produced anything more than the doggish mentality of quarreling individually and nationally? Has this civilization enhanced the cause of equality and fraternity by sending thousands of men into a hellish factory and the war fields at the whims of a particular man? Prabhupada would also explain that we can trace the suffering of human society to the suffering that is inflicted upon animal society. As we sit here comfortably in our homes, animals are undergoing most hellish torture, being slaughtered in huge slaughterhouse, mechanized slaughterhouse facilities, where hundreds of millions of animals are slaughtered just for the satisfaction of the tongue. And that why are men being slaughtered? As we sit here also, people are being slaughtered in Gaza Strip. The Jews are killing the Arabs are killing the Jews. Wars are going on all over the world. Why? Prabhupada said we can trace it out to the way in which the animals are being treated, especially how the cows are being butchered. That negative energy, that violence comes back to human society in the form of war. So how to stop war? How to bring peace to society? Simple agrarian, agricultural lifestyle, sustainable lifestyle. Producing food that we eat instead of on big, huge factory farms with pesticides and artificial fertilizers. We had a symposium here in Mayapur. The presentation was made by one devotee, and they were comparing the nutritional content of vegetables back in the 50s with the nutritional content of fruits and vegetables today. And the fruits and vegetables today have about a fifth to a third of the nutritional content they used to have previously, before this so-called advancement of agricultural technology, of artificial fertilizers and pesticides and all the different things they're doing on these huge factory farms just to produce a vegetable that looks like a most nutritious, beautiful fruit or vegetable. Just like in America. I think a mango in America goes for about $1.50, and you buy it looks like most beautiful red and yellow and green, big plump mango, but you take it home and it's sour. It's full of threads and fiber, no sweet taste. It looks like a mango, but it doesn't taste like a mango because they're factory farmed with pesticides and all types. It's meant to simply generate income, to make profit, because the real mango is a little delicate. You can't just dump them here and there. In Mayapur, during mango season, mangoes go for 20 rupees kg. That's like 12 cents a pound for most beautiful, delicious, sweet, ambrosial mango right off the tree. So this is the result of a godless civilization. And Prabhupada said this cow protection, Goraksha, and sustainable living, producing the food you eat, is a challenge to this nuts and bolts civilization that only are meant to profit a few men at the expense of others, making big, huge factories, which Prabhupada said, factory is another name for hell. So making big, huge factories where some people go and they work their whole life, they get a meager paycheck, and they go and spend the fruits of their labor to buy the food they eat. Why not produce the food that we eat? I was fortunate to visit a farm. I was at Baroda, so about an hour and a half outside of Baroda, way out in the countryside. It's out near this big, huge statue of Sarva Patel. It's in that area. You drive right by that area. So devotees are living that life. They're producing their necessities. There's no electricity. There's no running water. There's tube wells, and they illuminate their homes with oil lamps. They're living that life. They eat what they grow. They wear what they, of course, they're not fully self-sufficient. They're making their own cloth, but it's not like they're not wearing anything else besides the cloth they make. But they're eating what they grow. They have a beautiful temple. They have cow protection, growing fruits and vegetables and grains, and living that lifestyle. And such amazing a group of devotees. About 20 families are living there. About 30 Gurukula students, and they're happy, healthy, well-adjusted, and they're not addicted to telephones and TV and movies and cinema, all these distractions in life, living the life that Lord Krishna lived, living off the land, living in harmony with the land. So Go-Raksha is part and parcel of this whole Vedic system of how to live in harmony by God's plan. Also, when my wife and I were living in Prabhupada Village in North Carolina, we had a big garden, but you can't imagine how much food comes out just of a small piece of land. We grow 2 rows of potatoes. You cut the potatoes in March, cut the eye, you plant them in the ground in March as soon as the frost is over, and by July, the potato plant has grown and died, and the ground is full of beautiful organic potatoes, and it's such a joy to dig through the ground and pull up these beautiful potatoes, and we grow potato for 1 year in a few strips of land. The earth is so productive, so generous to produce the food we require to eat, and we're growing everything. Fruits, flowers for puja. We had 30 different fragrant flower plants there. And fruits, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, apples, persimmon, pears. You're coming from the land. More than half the produce we grew, we're giving away to other devotees. Land is so generous. Krishna is so generous. So why these big, huge factories? Why big, huge slaughterhouses? Why war? Why disease? All of these things can be traced back to materialistic way of life, a dependent way of life on demoniac, exploitative social systems that sap the vitality, Prabhupada is saying here, sap the vitality of men and animals. So our response to that is Go-Raksha, cow protection, producing food from the land, organic food from the land. And some people say, oh, this isn't practical. It may be a necessity. It may be a necessity in the future. Who can say? But we can point to these successes that food comes from the land. In city life, you ask little children, where does milk come from? Oh, it comes from Walmart. They don't even know that milk comes from a cow because they never seen one. They never seen them. That comes from a cow. Because they never seen a cow. They're so disconnected and eating what is supposed to be. They call it food, but it's not food at all. It's a different combination of chemicals, mono and diglycerides, and modified food starch, and lecithin, and propylene glycol. And if you can't pronounce the chemicals on the label of ingredients, don't eat it. It's not food. It's such heavily processed food, meant for the profit of a few at the expense of the many. Food means food that's prepared in your own home and offered to God from the basic ingredients of life of atta and dal, chawal, masala, tel, all different sattvic ingredients and offered to God. Only in Kali Yuga is food sold. Only in Kali Yuga is food sold. And when you eat that food prepared by someone for profit motive, it pollutes your consciousness. So we don't eat in restaurants for this reason. And also because God knows what's going on. It may be a vegetarian restaurant, but God knows what's going on in the kitchen. Now there's stories of cooks, angry cooks spitting in the food, so many, using the bathroom and not washing their hands, so many horrible things. So why eat food that's not prepared and offered to God with love? This is real life. This is a life that sustains us materially. Our body becomes healthy. Our consciousness becomes clear, and we make progress in spiritual life. And all of these things are based on this principle of a God-centered way of life, of taking care of cows. The people say, you worship cows. Cows are worshipable. They give us the most valuable food. We say go mata, because they give us the most valuable food in the form of liquid religiosity, milk. We need protein in our diet. We need fat in our diet. So where to get it without slaughtering the animal? From milk. Such a simple thing. But people neglect this principle, to eat any damn thing that tastes good. And all these horrible, such a backwards way of living. I remember when I was driving to work, you see people driving down the road, they're shaving, or they're eating a hamburger or something, driving to work, or lined up at the fast food stores, at Wendy's and McDonald's and all these different fast food joints. It's not food. And it pollutes their consciousness. It spoils their hope for liberation, accumulates volumes of sin that they're accountable for. It said that to eat cow flesh means you have to take birth once for every hair on the body of the cow whose body you ate. So heaps of sins, unhappy life, dull consciousness, destroyed health. What is it? What is the use of such a civilization? So what kind of life did Krishna have? Krishna stayed agricultural environment with people who were growing food, who loved each other, who loved God, whose heart melts in ecstasy love of God, who are raising cows, who are milking cows, who are protecting cows, and had such opulent lifestyle. The opulence of Nanda Maharaj was inconceivable. They're wearing gold and jewelry and silk and gems by the opulence of Goraksha, because this is punya. Just to feed a cow is punya. So this is Gopashtami, to reflect on these things. What is the life that Lord Krishna lived, and what is the life we should be living here in this world, and how to live life in this world so that we, at the end of life, we can transfer to that eternal life of joy, of eternal joy, of harmony, of actual love. Love in this material world is nothing but lust. Of course, that's a whole other discussion about what's going on between men and women in this world. It's simply exploitation. In the name of love, I love you. What does it mean? I lust you. I want to enjoy your body. It's not love. What is the connection between lust and love? It's simply illusion. A man says to a woman, I love you. But what does he really want? I want to enjoy, I want to use your body for my sense gratification. What is the connection between love and the physical act of sexual intercourse? There's no connection. But people call it love. And the whole world goes around on this principle of so-called love in the material world. So we have an antidote for that, and it's Krishna Bhakti. How to experience real love where the heart melts in love of God, where there's respect and love between devotees. Where in the world will you find people that bow down to you? Please accept my obeisances, Prabhu. Please accept my obeisances, Mataji. Where people call you Prabhu, call you Mataji, fold their hands to you, bow down to you, want to feed you, want to see you go back to Godhead. Where will you find such a society? It doesn't exist outside of society of devotees. Outside of the society of devotees, they don't give a damn whether you live or whether you die. You're just the competition. You're another face on the street, another car on the road, another applicant for the job you want. You're just the competition. So in society of devotees, living this wonderful lifestyle in harmony with the gifts of nature, which means the gifts of the Lord, that we live here peacefully, and at the end, go back to Godhead. What can be a better way to live one's life in this temporary world? Where if we live that life, taktva deham punarjanma, we don't come back again. We go back to Krishna and make permanent solution to all the problems of life. So Go Raksha ki jai, Go Pashtami ki jai, Gopal ki jai, Jai Govinda Jai Gopal ki Shava Madhava Dina Dayal. Anyone has any question, comment?
Thank you very much, Sarva Prabhu. Wonderful Gopastami class. Mute yourself and ask if anyone has questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, very nice class and really explained very well, like from Gopashtami, actually how to protect or care about the cows and how to relate it with how to live your life. And I really like the potatoes example you gave. Sometime I give that example like to my family members or cousins, when they talk about these days, these produce are coming with the wax coating or things like that. Even potatoes are not coming out good in the market or the prices are going up. So I was telling them, why don't you try cut the potato, one potato in few pieces and you can get 10 potato out of it, and try same way in one row or two rows or even in the pots. I mean, that connection is so well with how to live your life.
Yeah, but problem is, Mataji, they treat the potatoes with a chemical that inhibits the growth of the, how potatoes, they sit and they start to grow. They treat them with a chemical to inhibit that growth. And there's a friend of mine, he has a degree in agriculture. He's my beloved godbrother, Gyapaka Prabhu. He was growing all his potatoes. Then they ran out and they bought some at the store, and they were so accustomed to the natural flavor, the earthy flavor of a real potato, they could hardly eat potatoes from the store because it has a chemical flavor that they didn't notice before because they weren't eating for so long. They treat them with so many pesticides and chemicals and manipulate our food in many ways that it's hardly food. It's hardly nutritious anymore.
Yes, Prabhuji. I like it's a really good step. Like even if people can be motivated to grow their plants or food from like small plants or seasonal plants to also the trees that can give the fruits every year, right?
Yes. It's amazing. It's such a joyful thing. My wife and I look forward to it so much. You're digging through the dirt. It's like treasure hunting. You're pulling out beautiful, big, spotless, organic potato from the ground, like food coming from the ground. And you offer to Krishna. And there's the whole cycle. Whole cycle is there. And then all scraps from the kitchen were composted. Leaves from the trees composted and put back into the earth. This is sattvic gardening, sattvic food production. No organic, no what are they? There's different commercial fertilizers and horrible pesticides. It's such a wonderful way to live, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. So you was in New Vrindavan with the...
No, I was at Prabhupada Village in North Carolina.
Okay.
We had a 7-acre property there. We had a garden and orchard and rose garden, and it's just a joyful way to live. Of course, now I'm 71 years old, and it's also a very exhausting way to live.
Very nice, Prabhu. So can we visit that place in North Carolina? Is it open to public?
Yes, it is. They have a beautiful temple there with extraordinarily beautiful Gaurnitai deities, and there's several families living there. You can find it online at prabhupadvillage.com. Prabhupada with an A, village.com.
Sure, Prabhuji, we'll find. I visited New Vrindavan and like few times. in my last 20 years over here. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, and now I will try for North Carolina when I get chance.
Yeah, when you're able, it's an official ISKCON property. Beautiful Gaurnitai is a Sunday feast also. Devotees are very accommodating there. They have two beautiful gear cows, Ganga and Jamuna.
Oh, nice.
They're like pet cows. They're not actually doing Goraksha. I mean, they're taking care of the cows, but they're not breeding them and making more cows. But it's a beautiful property.
Yes, I grew up with my grandma, watching her like how she was taking care of the cows. And I used to feel inferior, like the feeling I was getting, like how come my grandma is loving those cows more than the grandkids?
Actually,
And
Krishna loves the Brahmins, loves the cows more than the Brahmins. Did you know that?
the same thing my grandma did, and I remember that because I was growing up, I was so little, but I remember my grandma loved cows more than me.
Oh, she loved you too, for sure.
Yeah, but it's nice memories, yes.
Yeah. But she didn't have to milk you, so you didn't get as much attention.
Yeah. And I was following her, like even tried to help her, with the what to feed to the cow. And but I was little, and she was careful with me. Do not get hurt. Do not like get your fingers cut or things like that.
Hmm. Yeah, my wife used to take, when she was a child, used to take care of 13 cows. She and her sister take care of 13
Nice.
cows, taking them out to pasture, milking them, feeding them, brushing them. So
Very nice, Prabhuji. I miss those days and feeling like lost in the modernization technology world.
this is the problem. We surround ourselves with plastic and cement and steel and concrete, and we forget about pastures and gardens and trees and air and fresh water. So what to do? It's Kali Yuga, onslaught of Kali Yuga.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Haribol, thank you for your question and nice comment, Mataji.
Anyone else? Question, comment? Not, we will conclude with the announcements.
So Hare Krishna,
Well,
please accept my humble obeisances. Dhanvat Prabhu.
Hey, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
So like I am hearing your lecture, the focus on the farming, but we see like I belong to the farming background, Prabhuji, like and from the Mathura, but I see the villagers like the farming, they want to give up that farming because of they are looking to, the big projects are coming to the villagers, or this project coming, that project coming, and the government try to capture the farming land and giving them, oh, you will get this factory here, you will get the job here. So that
Yes.
kind of, so how to, even the farmers have a fears, like they have an attachment with the land, but government even like giving them some of the money, some the government decided price, and encouraging them to give up the land and then work in the factory. So how to understand that?
We have to show an example. That's why Prabhupada wanted farm communities, to show an example to the world of this lifestyle, of happy lifestyle. Not living, going to the factory and being just, factory means they're just sucking your blood. They give you just barely enough money to keep you there, and you give barely enough work so they don't fire you. There's no love, there's no reciprocation, it's just exploitation. And then you take your meager salary and you go buy food. You can avoid the whole thing by growing your own food. And governments like it in Orissa, my wife is from Orissa. She explained to me that the Orissan government is giving rice and atta and dal at such a cheap rate that people have no inclination to grow their own food. And people think progress means progress of industry, of industrial enterprise. That's not progress. Progress can only be defined as spiritual progress. So these things are going on. It's a fact. They're turning, and other thing they're doing is they're building big townships on good agricultural land. because there's more profit in it. People buy up agricultural land and make a township, and no more food is produced in that area. And they're killing the bull. And you see all over India now they have these little tractors, these regular sized tractors, and little tractors they use to till the land instead of engaging the bull. Where are all the bulls? They're being shipped off for slaughter. This is all the effect of Kali Yuga. It's a very unhappy situation. So our response to that is to show happy farming communities working in cooperation with the Supreme Lord and his plan for prosperity and spiritual emancipation. Is that okay?
So in that sense, bro, like a SCON, big the leadership level, we have some initiative to just bro, I want to share one example. I know the one farmer, because the father is so sad, he was crying, but the child so happy, land is going away because money coming. So even I see the after the giving up the land, and after I think within 10 years, the child finished whole money, whatever he got from government, and now
Yes.
the government made a township within the land, and his job is just sweeping the land. He become the
Yes.
sweeper.
So sad. So sad. This is
He's a
happening
sweeper
everywhere.
now. So before that he was farmer. He become a sweeper for his land only.
Farmer is such a honorable profession. We all starve without farmers, and they're inducing all the farmers. You come to the city and work in the factory. They'll make more money. And what happens? They go to the city. They become involved in intoxication. I'm shocked. I spend a lot of time traveling in India. I first came to India in 1976. Hardly you'd find liquor store, English wine shop. Now they're everywhere. Hardly did see a butcher shop. Now they're everywhere. Butchering cows. Big, huge legs of cows hanging for sale. Gaika mas. This is all the effect of Kali Yuga. So at least we should have some example of happy life, living in harmony with nature and with the plans of the Lord, how to be prosperous, how to be healthy, how to have peace of mind. So at least we can show an example of that. But to turn the tide of Kali Yuga, very difficult, Prabhu. Very difficult. We're completely outnumbered. But some devotees are doing it, like at this farm I mentioned outside of Baroda. Such a happy group of devotees. It's such a blissful time to spend with them. They have a beautiful temple, delicious food. They serve delicious prasadam. Happy, healthy devotees. No, I think there's one mobile phone in the whole group just for emergency. No electricity. No running water. They pump water, they store it. They illuminate their homes with oil lamps. And they're happy. Who is better off? A happy devotee living simple life? Or a person who has so-called advanced life, who's completely stressed, who's unhealthy, unhappy, mentally disturbed, full of lust, anger, greed? These are the products of materialistic life. So we can show an example. We can hope to show. Anything else?
That's it, I think. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Krishna Namananda Prabhu. All glories to you and all the devotees.
All glories to
Thank
you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I'm not a very expert speaker, but I hope I said something that is useful to you.
It was very useful, very wonderful. Sarva Prabhu ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktan ki jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
With our quick announcement, Today evening we are celebrating Gopastami. Please join us 5 to 9. Special dressing, special darshan of the Lord, and special feast and Katha. And tomorrow is the actual day. It is also, I think, today is tomorrow. And Thursday is Ekadasi, Uttana Ekadasi, very important Ekadasi. Bhishma Panchak starts on that day. Lord Mahavishnu wakes up from his Yoga Nidra. Tomorrow is also Srinivas Acharya's disappearance day, who has brought the books. So we are reading today, we are getting all the books because of their causeless mercy. Narottam Das Mahaprabhu, Srinivas Acharya, and Shamananda Pandit worked so hard to bring the books written by our 6 Goswamis. So, very prominent day, 20th, that is Monday, and Gopastami day. Ekadasi, Uttana Ekadasi, Bhishma Panchak, and Gaur Kishore Das Babaji disappearance day. So in this whole Damodar month, so many wonderful festivals. So 23rd, and the last day of Kartik is Raja Purnima, 26th November, Sunday. So those are the quick announcements. Please join today evening. See you all there. You can order if you like to order from Govindas for any birthdays or any events, govindasnj.com, or contact one of us to place your orders. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. We'll conclude.